Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about finding angles inside of a right angle triangle. So basically, if you think about it, what we've been doing so far is using the angle to find the ratio, using that sin, cos or tan function. But what we're going to look at today is how we do the exact opposite. So given the ratio, go back and find that angle. Now, what we do is we actually use what's known as an inverse function. So an inverse function is like the opposite. So the inverse of adding is subtracting. The inverse of multiplication is division. Now for sine, cos and tan, we don't really have a name for the inverse function, so we call it inverse sine, inverse cos, or inverse tan. And the way we write it is sin, cos or tan with the power of -1. So for example, if I wanted to write, I'm just going to do e.g. So if I want to write the inverse of sine, I write sine to the power of -1. Now some people say it as sine -1, but inverse sine is much better because sine -1, especially when you get into higher grades, might sound like you're trying to say the sine function of -1. But what we're trying to say is the inverse function. Now, our quote for this one comes from Coco Chanel, of all people. She said, "There are two types of people, the people who have money and the people who are rich."